is time to once again expand the great blank by bad blank CDTV universe. I've done, what is it, like 6 or 7 different types of this list since 2018. There's like a million different variants of these that you can do. And now we're doing great features from bad rappers. For those times where a rapper you just don't really like does really well in a guest spot, and you have to admit, they did their thing. But right before we get into that, I'm feeling pretty hungry, man. I shouldn't have sat down to record on an empty stomach. I don't want to take a 15 to 20 minute break and interrupt my flow while working here to make lunch from scratch. But luckily for me, I don't have to do that because today's video is sponsored by Huel. They're offering my viewers 15% off using the code CDTV15 at Huel.com, linked in the description down below and in the QR code that's on the screen right now, on orders over $75. And let me share with you why it's so great for these situations where I'm working, I'm pressed for time, but I still want a nutritionally complete meal. With Huel's Black Edition powder, which I have 3 lovely bags of right here, I don't need that much time. Add some water as per the instructions, 2 scoops into my shaker, give it a shake, and boom, I have something right here that has the right amount of protein, carbs, essential fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals as part of a balanced diet. The flavors are pretty great too. They have a bunch of different ones, but me personally, I went for the cookies and cream, the salted caramel, and the coffee caramel, all of which I look forward to as a part of my daily intake. It makes for a pretty affordable meal too, considering that the Black Edition powder starts at $2.65 per meal. This is something I'd recommend to anyone who wants to save time while still getting meals that hit all the bases. So if you'd like to try out their Black Edition powder, go to Huel.com/CDTV15 for 15% off on a minimum order of $75. Thank you to Huel for sponsoring today's video and for providing me with a nice, easy to make meal that I can have in the middle of it without interrupting my flow that much at all. With that being said, this is CDTV Productions, and let's get into it.
That's the sound of the Glock. Even DJ House, you fucked around and got shot. I done messed around and forgot my tech.
Throughout the life of my channel, I've expressed my dislike for Bizarre's usual brand of shock value raps. He usually just says the most messed up thing that he can think of without much of the usual humor or wit that can be seen by his friend and collaborator Eminem, for example. However, I find Bizarre funny on One Shot, Two Shot. It feels like he actually tried to tell jokes here with a solid sense of comedic timing. The concept of the song is Eminem, along with the other members of D12, being in the club when all of a sudden, gunshots start firing. And Bizarre just runs out of there and abandons his wife.
Nigga, what about your wife? Nigga, fuck my wife. I'm trying to run and save my motherfucking life.
The way the other D12 members play into this really helps too. It always kills me when Eminem says this.
Wait a minute, I think I just saw Bizarre. No, I guess not. What the fuck? Oh my god, it was. I never saw him run so fast in my life.
It's got a real sense of fun to it that, say, Bizarre's verse on Amityville doesn't really have. I really enjoy him and all of D12 actually on this song. Yeah, it's only like a 45-second verse, but he adds to the song nicely. Actually, there is one other Bizarre verse that I quite like too.
Music has changed my life in so many ways. Brains confused, been fucked since the 5th grade.
I had to throw this one on here too real quick. Bizarre has the intro here to set up the idea of the song, which is that people need to stop confusing music with reality. Bizarre then goes on to parody this in his guest verse by listing off multiple different musical acts and basically talking about how they ruined his life because he took their lyrics too literally or he tried to be like those musicians.
LL told me to rock the bells. NWA said fuck the police. now I'm in jail. MOP had me grimy and gritty. Maryland Mansion, I dyed my hair blue and grew some titties.
It's just some entertaining reference humor that works as a way to poke fun at this idea of music being this thing that has an all-powerful control over the listener. He understood the assignment on this one. And thank God he did, because it was the final verse on the track. It brings things to a satisfying close.
Caught a brand new hoe, she a freak, and she tryna eat my team. Alex Murphy did my ring, I make her kiss my ring.
Completely different type of song to Eminem tracks to follow that with. Now, my Destroy Lonely thoughts were all laid out in my worst rappers in the game episode on him that everybody loved, and it received no backlash whatsoever. But despite not liking his music, I really like what he does on this song. Most of his own music tends to be very boring and drawn out, but I think he slides nicely over the hard-hitting instrumental here. Something about his nasal congestion type delivery just works with the flow he uses on this verse.
I just made 100,000, stuffed it in some Raver pounds. I just got a paper cut from counting out his paper, man.
He invents a new word, that being Israelian, has some cool brag rap lines. It's just a rare example of a verse where I feel like Destroy Lonely actually manages to capture that effortlessly cool vibe that he's clearly going for with his music. He almost slides off the beat in like the first couple lines of his verse. I don't know why he struggles with that sometimes, but it doesn't throw the whole thing off for me. It's still solid.
I'm a motherfucking player, what the fuck is a bride? I don't be fucking with these bitches, rather hang with my guy.
From what I've heard of her music, I'm not too big on Sexy Red. It's just not really my type of thing. But pair her with Chief Keef on a banger, and damn, she actually sounds pretty great. Keef's Almighty Soul 2 album is one that I just enjoy in general, in large part due to its fired up energy and banging production. And it's so great on this track, the way that the 808s just machine gun rapid fire around the verses. Listen to how wildly active they are while Sexy Red is rapping.
Almighty and big sexy sliding in the space. Don't get an attitude, cause you will get your head cracked.
And personally, I really like this. The energy is infectious, and Sexy Red sounds really smooth over it. Also, I just like how she's introduced into the song, trading bars from what will later appear in her verse with Chief Keef to open up the track. For me, it makes it really satisfying when she comes in later on in the song with her actual verse, opening up with those lines from the intro. I like that touch.
I'm a motherfucking player, what the fuck is a bride?
I'm a wolf, so I walk around and growl at the moon.
I'm a motherfucking player, what the fuck is a bride? I don't be fucking with these bitches, rather hang with my guy.
It's an absolute banger.
Got a drop on the op where easy. Slide in that corner, get busy. Look at my chin, get frisky. I'm rocking Elliot diamonds, no kizzy.
I know what some of you are thinking. Nav is the GOAT, but shh. We just have to pretend that he sucks for this video. Listen to how this song starts off.
Back in my zone and I'm focused. Please don't start no commotion. That player, we up and we throwing.
Rowdy Rebel is fired up. The beat slaps. The first time I heard it, I thought to myself, how is Nav gonna keep up with this kind of energy? But to my surprise, he kinda did, still rapping with the same type of auto-tune on his voice that he usually does. His vocal tone is still pretty similar, but he picks up the pace of his flow a little bit. Tell me how often you hear Nav flowing like this, bro. He clearly was trying to revive my 10 Fastest Verses series for him with this legendary performance.
Two-tone dollar, got a two-tone Glock, got a yellow bone bitch with a two-door drop. Do it for the thrill, my shooters do a drill.
It's not the most energetic thing you'll ever hear, but by Nav standards, this is him working at like full capacity. With a lot of these features, you have to take them in the context of who the artist is and how they usually perform, and as a Nav verse, this is pretty damn good.
No cigarello, rello, love when I mellow, get on my level. 101 carats in my bezel. I'm on.
Look, maybe it's the fact that I just recently got super into Bone Thugs music and actually listened to East 1999 Eternal for the very first time this year, but the interpolations and sample of First of the Month here, one of Bone Thugs' biggest hits, are so fun for me. Now, if you're a Bone Thugs fan, I imagine this could be a bit 50-50 for you. You might fall on the end of thinking that Tyga butchered the Bone Thugs original and that he shouldn't have touched it, or you might think that it was a fun switch up for his flow and that he did it justice, which for me personally is the side that I land more on. It made him a lot more bearable, and hearing him pay homage to some hip-hop goats was really cool.
Like soon as the ice cream truck at the ghetto, little knucklehead always in trouble. Soon as I ask shorty her number for sure.
He basically interpolates some of the flows directly from the Bone Thugs original, and personally, I appreciate that commitment to making it sound pretty similar, rather than half-assing it and just rapping in his regular cadences. I mean, that's what Wayne does, and his verse is solid, but he doesn't switch it up at all for this track.
I pour up for Pimp C, light up a soda slim, straight out the gutter with the rest of the bowling pins.
So I can appreciate Tyga doing it. I don't see it as a lazy ripoff or anything. To me, this is just a solid track that pays homage to some icons in the rap industry, and Tyga plays his part nicely.
Rich nigga got a whole lot of dollars. Bad bitch with me, she a IG model. She won't drink, I ain't got no bottle. Told her get up on her knees, I'ma go for a throttle.
I'm gonna be honest about this inclusion to you guys here. I set myself a challenge for this video. Can I find a single DDG feature that would qualify for a list like this? To give you the cliff notes on my DDG feelings thus far, I think he's one of the least interesting rappers I have ever listened to. The biggest amalgamation of rap cliches possible, while lacking the strong qualities of the rappers who the cliches came from. So, what made me select this feature? Was it a massive departure from those issues that I have with DDG? No, not really. It's just a pretty catchy hook.
Try to get wet when she dry this boat. Shivering when she comes, she ain't got no coat. Got a fofo and it's Dior toe.
Yep, it's not even a full verse. A decently energetic, gonna flow-like chorus on a Blueface song is the best I can do here. I will give it credit for not sounding as brutally lethargic as DDG often does now. Hooray! Now, I did think it was a little funny to include that as the main feature here, but just to be nice, I'll give an honorable mention to Beethoven by CanDog. It's got a fun instrumental, and DDG's flow is solid over it.
But you can't get in, they know me at the club, so I always got my stick in. The center of attention when I'm ballin', I'm the big man.
And Worth It by Trait Wathry? Trait Wathry?
Oh my god, you fucking idiot. It is obviously pronounced Trey 23, as in Trey followed by the numbers 2 and 3. Yes, Apple Music makes it hard to notice this because the artist name is mostly lowercase, but still. SMH bro.
Where he goes for a more gold linky type thing, and it's decent enough.
I promised that a wrestle, not a relay. Doing 90 in a race on a freeway.
I guess I found 3 that are kind of alright. I'll take it.
I did it for my dogs. Did it for them niggas with a vision like a boss. Did it for them niggas in the kitchen with the sauce.
It took a lot of digging, but yes, the patron saint of ass guest spots, French Montana, does actually have a good feature out there. This obviously happened because DJ Khaled brings out the best in every rapper that he works with. That's how it usually goes, right? But I think the real reason why this one is good is super simple. French Montana, to put it bluntly, is quite boring. So how can we solve this issue? For this track, the answer was to put him over a beat with triumphant horns and booming drums produced by the Beat Bully, and it actually works pretty nicely. While French usually comes into a song sounding way too casual for his own good, Here, it sounds like he had a couple of shots of espresso in him when he entered the booth.
Got price in my hand and drop hair out. Staring at the ceiling when I wake up in the morning.
Are you telling me French Montana can actually sound decent if he just tries over the right beats? Maybe just being in the presence of Meek Mill's loud-ass voice in the previous verse made some of that energy transfer through osmosis to Mr. Montana. Whatever the case, he made this one work and actually had a kind of cool rhyme scheme in like the first 2 lines of his verse. He doesn't ruin the track. He's actually pretty solid on it. That's basically a prime performance from French Montana at this point. And before we close out this video, no, I am not making that video where I listen to every French Montana project like I did for DJ Khaled. You can't make me. I better not see any comments asking about this. So thank you for watching this one, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this list and what you would include on it if you were making it. On the screen right there, I've left a link to my recent Worst Rappers in the Game episode on Dex, so you can check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Much love to my channel members and Patreon supporters on the screen right now, with a special shout out to Henry Flores, I Am Regent, Lucas1123, and Neo Striker.